What's up everybody, Sam here. Sorry for the laziness in the video production department over the last couple weeks. I know the video's been coming out late, like really late. Like this was due this week, I think. This was due a week ago. I'm getting behind. But I solemnly swear I'm up to no good, and by that I mean I'm still making videos. Duh, I better be. I've just been doing a lot of work on other stuff, plus I'm working on channel renovations, so that includes a new Life in Germany intro, which I'm done with, I think you're gonna like, a new end slate for my Life in Germany videos as well, a new profile picture and new banner. Yeah, so I still got work to do, but I'm gonna be doing my best to get back on schedule with these videos. Now today, a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, I did a cultural differences video, and today I'm gonna do a sequel. And there will probably even be another one after this at some point. But yeah, today I'm just gonna go over a couple, more specifically five more cultural differences. And I know I made this disclaimer in the last one, I'm gonna make it again because I'm a USian. That's where my perspective is coming from, obviously. That seems like a no-brainer, but I talk about cultural differences and then people come to me saying, yeah, that's the same in France or in Switzerland or so-and-so. And yeah, I recognize that, and I'm making these observations from the perspective of an American. So if there are similarities between what I'm saying and what I'm saying about Germany and other countries, don't be too surprised. Also know that I'm generalizing, and in a country of 80 million people, you can't just make a general statement about all of them at once. That doesn't work. Just throwing that out there too before someone yells at me. So yeah, let's just jump right in. I'm sure all of you watching this have heard and know that for Germans, it's a little bit harder to break the ice sometimes. And one major manifestation of that, which is liable to really throw off an American, is that when you meet a German for the first time, even like an adult meeting an adult, chances are they will introduce themselves as Mr. So-and-so and state their last name. And they will expect you to call them that until they invite you to use their first name. Now, like I said, I am generalizing, and I think when we met our neighbors for the first time, they just told us their first names, and yeah. But in the States, you know, when two adults meet each other, they might just tell each other their first names. They might not even mention their last names. Rarely for a second do two adults who just met call each other Mr. So-and-so. We in the States just want to get as comfortable and as informal as possible, as quickly as possible. I don't know why this is. I'm not saying that's necessarily a good or a bad thing, but in any case, it is quite the opposite in Germany. In the States, we're actually made uncomfortable if people address us formally for too long, because like I said, we just want to get comfortable and informal. The opposite is true here. If you get too informal too fast with a German, it can really make them uncomfortable, and that is a big cultural difference that we as Americans need to know about when coming to Germany. Next up, and this one has to do with houses, in the States, we as Americans love openness. We love walking in the front door of someone's house and just being greeted by this big open space. Our last house in the States was essentially just one big room. It had a couple bedrooms and bathrooms off of that, but the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, an office, all these living spaces were combined into one large open room. And we love that. Germans in general do not. They strongly prefer individual rooms to be closed off. They like the more compartmentalized designs. They can actually be made uncomfortable by big open spaces inside someone's home. Next difference between our cultures, and this is kind of a life hack if you're moving to Germany, you do need to keep this in mind when you're out and about. In the States, we call the ground floor the first floor, and then the next one up is the second floor, and the third floor, and so on. In Germany, the ground level is 0. Then what we in the States would call the second floor, they call the first floor. And then our third floor would be their second, and so on, and so forth. You get the point. Again, that's not that big a deal at all. It's just something very worth knowing when you're in Germany. Next one is a big one, and a seemingly highly debated one, and that is nationalism. And I'm just gonna call it patriotism, because everyone knows that the United States is one of the most patriotic countries in the world, if not the most patriotic. We love our country there, and there are things we do that really disgust Germans, like flying our flag on our house all the time, students reciting the Pledge of Allegiance every day at school. And the Germans watching this, they have, I think a lot of them have a hard time seeing the line between nationalism and patriotism, because I am patriotic, okay? I love my country. Within the bounds of patriotism, I can say that my country is my favorite country. I can even believe that my country is the best. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, if you think Germany is the best country in the world, go for it. This has never bothered me. I'm not saying that all other countries can just go to heck because mine is the only one that matters. That's nationalism, and that's stupid. There are people like that out there, and you hear a lot more from them than people like me who just really love our country. Most of the German detest for the way our kids recite the Pledge of Allegiance in school every day is obviously because of Nazi Germany. And because on the outside, yeah, reciting a Pledge of Allegiance every day at school does seem awfully nationalistic. But I think when you just take a closer look at the words to the Pledge of Allegiance, you can see that it's not some blind agreement to just do whatever your government says and saying that you'll totally support any decisions that they make. It's not like that. I think the last 6 words are the most important, with liberty and justice for all. And it just serves as a reminder for what our country stands for now and has always stood for. But yeah, I'm getting on tangents of all sorts. Germany, on the other hand, displays an almost depressing lack of patriotism sometimes. And I'm not saying you have to be patriotic, but I see them actively avoiding it. You will hardly ever see a German flag flying in Germany, except during the World Cup and the Europe Cup, whatever it's called. I don't know what the actual name is because I'm not like the biggest soccer guy. Football, sorry. And even then I hear people saying, I wish we wouldn't fly our flag. And it's kind of sad to me. Germans aren't allowed to be proud to be German. And it is slowly wearing off, which I think is good. Now once again, I'm not saying that I think Germans need to be more patriotic per se. It just kind of upsets me to see that they're almost afraid of showing any love or pride in their country. I'll just put it that way. Now, after all that talk, the last thing I have on my list is much more lighthearted, and that is cutting your food. Because in the States, it is not uncommon at all just to take a piece of meat and cut it all up before you start eating. In formal situations, it's way more likely that you'll cut a bite, eat it, and it's considered more polite to do so. But in less formal situations, no one really cares. That behavior, cutting it all before you eat it, is unacceptable here. Back when I was in German school, and this wasn't too long after I started going, I was eating lunch. And school cafeteria lunches, they're not what I would call formal. So I sat down with my schnitzel across from one of my friends, and I just cut it all up before I took a bite. And he just kind of sat there looking at me with this pathetic face. And he was like, I wish I could do that. So that gives you a little example of how strict they are with that one, or how closely they follow that rule. I do too. I mean, when I'm at someone's house and we're having a nice supper, I'll be very formal and cut off my food bite by bite. But really, cafeteria lunch, I don't care. So that's all I got for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry for the laziness once again. And yeah, I gotta get to work on other stuff, YouTube related stuff. The question and answer video will be out within the next week, so if you have any questions for me, go over to that video and leave it in the comments, or shoot me an email or a Facebook message, or tag me on Twitter or something. You can't tag on Twitter, what do? Maybe you do tag. I am so technologically inept. I have made less than 250 tweets. I have tweeted less than 250 tweets. I had a Tweety Bird backpack when I was way younger. Random thought. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope I did not tick anybody off. Someone always manages to get mad though, so I'll see you in the comments, Mr. Mad Person. Be sure to leave me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It's been a long time since I said that. All right, I gotta go. Bye.